We are continuing our adventure in Star Wars Galaxies, playing it in 2026. This goes over the last maybe 100 hours I've played, what I've learned, and our adventures that we had with our new group. We have a couple of episodes before this if you want to see kind of the newbie experience and how we started. We are playing the combat update server. It's a fresh server, and I think it's going to be kind of the official one, so we're playing this one specifically. Let me know what you think in the comments, leave me a like if you can, and subscribe for indie MMORPG content. It's actually what we cover on this channel, but every once in a while we cover something that is retro that relaunches. And we also have a Discord server, over 1,000 on there. If you want to keep up with the latest developing MMORPGs, that is the spot. Now let's continue. So last episode we joined the Empire, we met up with these guys, so we have a group to work with. Currently we are the Doctor, and I went the Smuggler class. I use pistols, and I can also slice terminals for more mission money, and you could also slice open boxes. We've been grinding these Imperial missions for maybe 30 hours. We made a ton of money. In this game you can party up and go on missions through mission terminals, and it pays out the whole group, and it's a good source of money. So after making so much money, I decided it's time to upgrade our blaster. So I made my way to Corellia. There are a bunch of planets in this game. If you know Star Wars lore, might be interesting to you. I made my way to one of the player homes. All the housing is player ran, and you just pay a little bit every week or so, I'm pretty sure is how it works. And you can set up your vendor location there, and people set up towns. So right here you can see me rolling up. This guy's selling a bunch of player crafted gear. I grabbed my blaster. So after that we decided we want to do some other missions. We hit up Tatooine and went to Jabba's palace. There are theme parks in the game, or quest lines, and they give you a variety of gear, and the quests vary. So for Jabba I have some fetch missions, I have some fighting quests, and I got a couple of taxi quests where I just bring an NPC back to Jabba's palace. After a few missions you're able to enter Jabba's throne room, and you can talk to Boba Fett, and he gives you access to a bunker on the planet Endor. So after a couple of hours of questing, we finally managed to make our way to Boba, and we set off to Endor. You can see right here we're at the spaceport waiting. There are a few players there. Traveling between planets just costs a small fee, and you just wait for the shuttle. We made our way to Endor to enter the Death Watch bunker. These are, I think, ex-Mandalorians. I'm not sure exactly. I forget the lore. We made our way into the bunker. It was just a few of us, and it was too hard, actually. We took out a couple of them, but we couldn't take more than one at a time, and each fight took like 5 minutes. This ended up being like the endgame dungeon raid type of situation, so we just didn't have enough DPS to make this worthwhile. But it's cool to see different points of interest. There are different open world dungeons and things to interact with. It's pretty cool. We ended up wiping and took off from there. Since we were Empire and none of the guys were around, I hit up one of the rebel bases to grind rebels. They give Imperial points, and you could spend those points on gear schematics, furniture, weaponry, and companion NPCs. They only attack rebels. I'll show you my ATST later in the video. But I ground there for a while, and then eventually met up with the guys. We hit up Dathomir. This is where the Nightsisters are. Again, we're still pretty newbie. We don't have great gear just yet. These NPCs are basically force sensitive, and they're supposed to drop some pretty good loot. We found a couple interesting items, nothing crazy. We ground there for a little bit, but got tired of it, and then made our way back to Naboo. This is where our guild basically is basing. I'll show you our little village later. I took the time to go back to Tatooine and group up so that we can get experience. You do this by fighting these big mobs as a group, and that's pretty much the best way for anyone to get experience and level up as quickly as possible. It's not worth going solo. In the meantime, since I maxed that character, I started a new one. My new character is Dogface, the not bounty hunter. We went over to Dantooine. This is another planet. We were scoping out the landscaping, see if it was worth basing here. I'm pretty sure different planets have different resources for the gatherers and the crafters, so we fought some giant mobs here, but ended up not liking it, so we decided we're going to base in Naboo. Right here you could see me at the rebel base. He is currently a Terras Kasi master, which is the hand-to-hand combat. They're really tanky naturally. You don't need to have armor, so it's a good starting class. And I made a secondary class of pikemen so that I could have a group AoE attack that stuns them. You can see my two little companions here, the Dark Troopers. They're pretty cool. If you're big into pets in MMOs, this game is pretty cool for it. They have a creature handler class where you can go and tame basically any mob in the world. It's not in this version just yet, but they'll add it eventually. But it's super cool. You can use them as mounts and for combat. But I ground there for a long time, found some different loot. I took a break from my rebel grind to meet back up with the group. You can see here how the placing of buildings works. One of our crafters is an architect, so he's making these buildings. But here's our little neighborhood. It's still an ongoing process. It's still very early in the game. Everything takes time in this one. Over the next couple of days, I did some exploring. I found an underground rebel base. It was really good for grinding Imperial points. This was a way for me to rank up as well as to finally get my ATST. Right here, I'm in town and I am testing it out. It looks like it's kind of glitchy. It doesn't actually show the blaster texture, like the color of it, but it is shooting. You'd think this would have a ton of health and do a ton of damage, but for some reason it doesn't. It's barely better than my Dark Troopers. I ran into this weird Trandoshan who licked me. There's fun stuff like this that happens all the time. If you're just walking around, someone might emote or just chit-chat with you, and that's what I like about this game too. This is not the most populated Star Wars Galaxy server out there, but it is the freshest, and it is a little bit different since it is a combat update server. But I imagine in its prime, all these planets would be full of people. I wish I got to live through that. It would have been so cool. But for now, people are scattered about. There are plenty of players. You'll see people all the time, but it's not a packed MMO. You don't expect to see tons of players everywhere. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Our latest adventure was heading back to Dathomir to fight more Nightsisters. We went with our squad. Now that I was Terraskasi Master and Master Pikeman, I could do a lot more damage, and we did pretty good. We could take 3 on maybe at once, which is pretty decent. Still, most of our people don't have armor, so they go down pretty easily. It's easy to get swarmed in this game, so you need to be careful where you position your character. I suggest, again, if you're gonna try this game, maybe start out with Terraskasi because you get this innate armor and you're a pretty strong class. I never showed it, but I'm gonna pop up all the classes on the screen. You can go and do your own research. There are a lot of options. It's mainly blaster focused, this game, but there are two-handed weapons, one-handed weapons, pole arms, which is what I'm doing with Pikeman, hand-to-hand combat. As far as blasters go, you got fast pistols, medium-ranged carbine, and long-ranged rifles. And then you could go bounty hunter, commando. There are other side classes. They're just not all in-game yet. And then there's creature handler. There are a couple healing classes, and this game is really big into crafting. You can become a speeder crafter, an architect, a chef. Armor and weapon smithing is really big. Seems like the gathering system, you go around and just survey the land, and you could set up machinery, or you can manually set your character to AFK there and gather for you. I don't think I'm going to get into the crafting. I'm going to be away from my computer for a few weeks, so I'm going to check in on this when I get back. Our first episode came out and it didn't do that great, so probably won't put out an episode 4. I'll just play by myself, but by the time I get back, there should be some armor sets crafted, some new weapons crafted, and then I can go and do some other stuff. This game is big into PvP as well. Might need to get into a guild for that, but doesn't seem like our subscribers really want to see Star Wars Galaxies, so this is going to be the end of the line, I think, for our channel. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Leave me a like if you can. This video took a lot of time, even though I've kept it very short. It's only like 8 minutes or something, but I had a lot of fun. Go and try it out for yourself. If you want a more polished version of this, there are other servers out there that have been long in development and have players that are easier to get into. But if you want to get into a fresh server where you don't really feel left behind, you should definitely go and try out the combat update server. I got links in the description. Stick around by subscribing. All we do is cover MMORPGs on this channel. This is kind of out of our comfort zone. We normally cover indie MMOs in development, but I really like Star Wars Galaxies, and even though I'm pretty sure this series kind of bombed, I still have a lot of fun, and I hope I got to convert some players or just to entertain some people with some nostalgia. If you want to game with us, we also have a Discord server. It's where we keep track of developing MMORPGs and where we group up and try them out. And we stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday if you're into that. But that's all for me. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you made it this far, let me know. I'm pretty sure not many people are watching this series. Kind of a bummer. I was pretty excited for this, but you know what? Just because I like something doesn't mean everyone's gonna like it. But there is a player base for Star Wars Galaxies, so if you want to go and try it, go and do your research and play it for yourself. But that's all for me. Thanks for stopping by, and until next time, I will see you in game.